I'm Roshawn, Harlem born, Bronx raised, and Queens tough when I gotta be. If you ever spent a morning on that line outside Bronx Criminal Court, you probably seen me. Puffer jacket, hair wrapped tight, Dunkin' cup in one hand, folder in the other, moving like a bike messenger with bills due. Folks think bail bond life is men in loud suits talking fast. Nah, it's aunties, sisters, baby mamas, and best friends holding it down while the city yawns. It's me, counting cash that ain't even mine and swearing I'ma get it back when that court date hit. Welcome to my hustle. The morning this story really starts, the sky over 161st looked like somebody rubbed a pencil over it. Straight graphite. Wind hitting sideways, had the flag slapping the pole like they owed rent. I'm on the steps, steam rising off my coffee, scrolling texts. My cousin Neek need $2,000 on a 5K bond for her little brother Melly. Stupid case. Fight on the D train turned assault 'cause a phone went flying. My phone jump again. Unknown number. You Roshawn? Heard you make bail happen. Need help today. I type back, who dis? And slip my hand warmers deeper in my pockets. That cold goes straight to the knuckles if you let it. Inside the lobby, metal detectors humming, COs looking like they was born bored. I slide through, nod at the clerk, grab a seat near the windows. People watching in court is like TV with no commercials. Every face a pilot episode. A girl across from me got tears stalling on her lashes, holding a manila envelope like a life jacket. Next to her, some dude in a Carhartt jacket, pretending he ain't scared. We all pretending something in there. My unknown number calls. I pick up. Yo?
You Roshawn, right? Name's Dre. My sister Kenya got picked up last night downtown. Some shoplifting thing turned assault 'cause security got handsy. They talking bail. I don't even know where to start.
All right, Dre. First start is calm. I need docket number, full name, and which precinct she came from. You at court or you phone fishing?
I'm here, 3rd floor. They said arraignment soon. I got, some bread. Not crazy, though.
Aight. Meet me by the escalators in 5. Bring what you got and don't talk to nobody saying they cousins with the judge. That's always cap. I hang up, shoot Nick a quick hold tight, and cut through a stream of jackets and whispers. Dre meet me looking like yesterday ain't slept. 20-something, edges of a beard, hoodie layered under a thrift peacoat. He got the scared eyes people get when the city put their loved one in a box and shake it. He hand me a crumpled paper. Kenya Walker. Docket scribbled in blue ink. Precinct 1. He said, they said DA asking for 10K, he says, voice hitting that note where it want to crack but don't. I got 400 cash right now. Maybe my pops can zell more if he stop being petty. I breathe out slow. 10K on a first? Depends. If they threw the word robbery, the ass go dumb quick. We gon' see the judge before we panic, I tell him. I'ma sit with you. If it come to it, we bomb the number, not the fear. You hear me? Facts only. We post up in your arraignments. Cold benches, cold air. Clerk call names like roll call from a different planet. I whisper game to Dre. If judge said a number we can touch with a bond, like 10K means 1K plus collateral and fees, I move fast. If it's lower, we dance. He nods like he got rhythm now. Kenya come out in court browns, hair tucked behind one ear, chin up, but I see the flinch when the cuss clink. My stomach do that thing it do every time. It remember my brother Damon in the same uniform, the same fake sturdy face. Different story, same chain. ADA stands, run through the police fairy tale. Defendant concealed high-value cosmetics, attempted to flee, physical altercation with loss prevention. I roll my eyes, 'cause I know altercation means somebody grabbed her wrist and she snatched it back like a human. Public defender fires off the reel. First arrest, steady job at a salon in Midtown, caretaker for grandma, NYC resident her whole life. The judge, white hair, winter face, leaned back and hummed like a broken radiator. Bail is set at $7,500. Next case. Dre eyes hit me like, now what? I squeeze his shoulder. We in range. Then I move. Out the pew, down the hall, into the bail bond corridor, where the promises live and sometimes die. Neon signs for agencies try to flirt, 24/7, fastest release, low fees. I don't do neon, I do paperwork. My guy Marco runs a clean desk out here. Been straight since his mom's threatened to smack the accent out his mouth if he played funny with folks' money. He's at the window already, breath fogging the glass. Roshawn, he grins. Who we freeing today? I slide Kenya's docket through. Arraigned on a 7-5, PD says solid. We doing a 10%. I'll co-sign.
Marco side-eyes the papper, side-eyes Dre, then me. Collateral?
Dre swallows. I ain't got a car. Pop's got a 2012 Acura in his name. I got a job, warehouse, pay stubs. $400 cash right now. Maybe my pops can sell more if he stopped being petty. I lean on the counter. We structure it. I'll put my name on it, but I'm putting rules on you, Dre. She gotta show up to court early, not cute late. You answer your phone like it's rent calling. Any address changes, I know before Con Ed do. 10% plus fees today. Payment plan locked by Friday. I'm not your fairy godmother. I'm your alarm clock. He nods, quick, grateful. Marco prints forms like the printer owes him money. We stock IDs, employer letter, grandma contact, 3 signatures, 2 initials, and a promise I can hear thunk when it lands. Paper moved different when freedom hanging on the corner. While we wait on the sheriff's stamp, I step into the hall to text Neek. After this, I'm on Melly. Then my phone buzz from blocked. I pick up and step near the window where the heat actually works.
Yo, shorty, you the one helping Kenya Walker, right? Do me a favor and mind your business. She don't need your type of help.
I smile at the glass. All right, copy. Let me guess, concerned friend who just so happened to know her docket by heart.
He chuckles dry. I know what I know, and I know if she walk out today, somebody gonna be tight.
Here's what I know, I say, keeping my tone buttery like I ain't got hands. You call my phone again, I'ma forward your sweet nothings to a detective who love paperwork. Kenya walking, have a blessed day. I hang up, breath steady. Fear be trying to rent space in your chest for free. You just gotta change the locks. Back at the window, Marco slide the stamped copy. We good, he says. She'll process out in an hour, maybe 2. Yankees game messed the vans up. We sit in the cafeteria, a room that smelled like coffee and regret, watching time do cardio. Dre fidgeting, tapping the table like it's a drum pad. I go over court dates, map out a plan, tell them when to breathe. That's part of the hustle folks don't see, teaching people how to carry the weight while they wait. When Kenya come through that side door, hair a little smashed from the holding cell pillow, she spot us and buckles. Dre stand up so quick the chair skids. They hug like magnets. She say thank you 3 times, then once more to make him win. I make her repeat her next court date out loud, like I'm teaching class. She does, eyes locked on mine, steady. We hit the sidewalk, city air punching cold again. People zip past, mouths full of plans. I'm thinking about Melly's 5K, Kenya's 7.5, and the number on my rent that never blink. That's when a champagne gray Charger I ain't never seen slow roll by the curb. Windows smoke dark. The passenger window eased down just enough so a pair of eyes can breathe. Same voice from the phone floats out like a draft.
Enjoy your little victories, Ma. City got a way of balancing ledges.
Dre stiffen. Kenya tuck in closer to him. I don't blink. Let me guess. You the auditor, I say, chin up. Cool. Tell the city I keep receipts. The car creep off, turn the corner, disappear into traffic like rumors. I catch our reflections in the court's glass, me and my puff, eyes bright, Dre looking like Faith found algebra, Kenya standing an inch taller than when she came out. I think about all the women I watch stand in lobbies like this, weighing love against logistics, hoping the system don't charge interest on the heart. I tell them both, come on, we going to my office, a.k.a. that bodega off 161st, get y'all some real food. Then I'ma run Neek her turn. Every freedom take its number. We gon' call them out one by one. At the corner store, Mr. Singh already got my order. Egg and cheese on a hero, extra hot sauce. Kenya grab a ginger ale like she's signing a treaty with her stomach. We sit on milk crates by the window. City moving past like a parade of next episodes. Dre say he gonna pay me back in payments. I tell him this ain't charity and it ain't robbery. It's responsibility with a calendar. He laugh, a little realer than the last hour allowed. My phone ping. Neek. Melly docket confirmed. Judge in 20. I stand, toss my wrapper, pull my gloves back on. Kenya squeeze my hand. For real, when I get right, I'ma be your assistant. You a whole lifesaver. I grin. Bet. I pay in coffee and sarcasm. We step into the wind. The day got no warmer, but it don't feel the same. Dre and Kenya head toward the 4 train, fingers interlaced like a prayer. I turn back toward the courthouse, my office a chaos, and tuck a loose curl behind my ear. That's chapter 1 of my ledger.
The next morning, I woke up before the alarm. Bronx dawn pushing through the blinds like it owed rent. Phone already buzzing. 3 missed calls from Neek about her brother Melly's case. I throw on sweats, hoodie under my bubble, Timberland scuffed but warm. I keep my paperwork bound in my tote like it's holy scripture. Copies of receipts, blank cosign forms, highlighters sticking out like flags. The street outside my building smelled like bakery bagels and Metro card dust, only in New York. On the 4 train uptown, I stand by the door, earbuds in, no music playing, just blocking out strangers. A couple high schoolers wilding with their drill beats, an old head nodding like he DJing with his chin. I'm scrolling the court site for Melly's docket. 2 charges, trespass plus disorderly after a fight in the corner store parking lot. Shouldn't be heavy, but the DA in this borough love flexing on black boys with priors. I text Neek, emphasize. Meet me by clerk window, bring proof of address, and your pay stub. Outside Bronx criminal court, the flag's still snapping in the wind. Sky that same gray pencil shade as yesterday. I step in, slide past the metal detector guy who barely looks up from his crossword. Neek's already there, rocking her nurse scrubs under a bubble coat, eyes tired from a night shift. She hugged me tight. Girl, I can't lose my little brother to Rikers over some dumb parking lot fight. I hug her back. We not. Long as he show up to court and keep his mouth zipped after, we gonna be fine. How much you think you can put up? She says, I got $600 cash, maybe another 3 on Friday's check. Bet. Let's pray the judge keep it under $5K so we can work the bond. I got it to the benches near Raymond like I'm running tools now. 10 minutes later, the courtroom door swing open and here come Tone. My on again, off again Harlem boy with a barber fresh fade and a reputation for hustling but never leaving receipts. Yo, Shawnee, he grins like we on good terms today. Heard you the queen of bail. Need a favor. One of my little mans caught a gun charge. I fold my arms. Tone, we barely speaking. Now you in my office asking for miracles? Get in line, fam. I got Neek and Melly ahead of you. Tone throw up his hands, smirking. All right. Just saying, let me know when you're free. I'll pay extra. Typical Harlem charm, slick but broke. I shake my head, focus back on Neek. The clerk called Melly Johnson and we all perk up. Young Melly shuffle in wearing court browns, wrist chained. Trying to act bored, but I see the nerves in his jaw. The ADA goes first, paints a picture like Melly started World War III outside that deli. Public defender counters with the truth. First offense, part-time stock boy, lives with his sister the nurse, no priors. Judge, tall Latina woman, with glasses lid low, looks over her file, hums. Bail set at $4,000, she says flat but firm. Next case. Neek exhale relief. We hug quick, then I motion her toward the bond corridor. We good. 4K means 400 plus collateral. We gon' handle this. At Marco's window again. Man stay hustling 24/7. He see me and laughs. Back already? You need a punch card, Shawnee. We run paperwork. Neek's pay stub, grandma's address is secondary contact. While printers spit out forms, Tone leaning on the wall outside the office, pretend texting, but really eavesdropping. As we sign the last page, a shadow stretch across the counter. Same champagne-grade charger dude from yesterday's threat call. Window tint can't hide attitude. He step inside the corridor leaning against the water cooler like he built it.
Well, well, look who's saving the hood one bell at a time, he says, slow grin showing a chipped tooth. You out here interfering with business again, ma. I turn slow so my earrings don't swing. Funny, I thought freedom was everybody's business. You stalking me now or just bored? His smile dropped, but his eyes stay laughing. He tapped the cooler twice, then walks out without another word, like a warning dressed as small talk. Neek noticed my shoulders tense. Who was that? She whispered. I wave it off. Somebody who don't like receipts. Don't matter. Paperwork legit. Melly walking the night long as he signed that promise to appear. We leave the corridor with bond receipt in hand. Tone trails behind, whistles low. Yo, Shawnee, you making enemies out here. Careful who pocket you hurting. I stopped just long enough to glare back. Tone, I hurt nobody. System already hurting enough. I just opened the door. Outside again, the Bronx air smelled like pretzel carts and car exhaust. Neek hugged me hard, whispering, "Thank you, sis." I nod, check my watch. 2 more clients texting already. My hustle don't sleep even if I want to. Across the street, that same Charger idles near the hydrant, engine purr low like it's patient. I clocked the plate number in my phone notes. In this city, you learn early. Keep names, keep numbers, keep your eyes open. The bail bond hustle ain't just paperwork. Sometimes it's survival with a signature. I pull my scarf tighter, kiss Neek's cheek, tell her to wait inside the Melly's release van. Tone wave like he about to ask for my number again, but thinks better of it. I head toward the train, boots clicking on cracked pavement, mind already calculating fees, dates, and the shadow of that Charger tailing my day. That night, I ain't even make it past the first verse of Netflix. Phone blew up again, 3 different numbers back to back. I ignore the first 2, figure it's spam, but the third leaves a voicemail. It's Tone, sounding out of breath. Yo, Shawnee, we gotta talk. Charger dude, named Stacks. He ain't just some random. He old school Brooklyn paper pusher. Don't like legit bonds taking food off his plate. My stomach knot up. These street bondsmen be feeling like they own the corridor, like freedom a corner hustle. I set my laptop aside, grab my planner. Pages full of scribbled court dates, initials circled in red. Whole apartment smelled like burnt coffee and hair grease from earlier, that small space scent of single life in the Bronx. I paced the floor while calling Tone back. Shawnee, for real, Stacks from Atlantic Ave, been running street bail since the late 90s. If he eyeballing you, that mean your hustle cutting into his kickback chain. He think judges and clerks owe him first dibs. I roll my eyes, though he can't see it. Tone, I ain't in his way. I'm just doing paperwork. He mad at receipts, not me. Tone chuckles dry. Girl, receipts equal war to them. Look, just don't be alone in them Chloridas late. Call me if he press up again. After hanging up, I flop on the couch, staring at the chip ceiling fan spinning slow, thinking how my grind started. Back in junior high, I was the girl everybody called to write excuses for late homework. Always knew my way around forms. Fast forward years later, after my cousin got jammed up for a bar fight, I learned how messy bail could be and figured somebody in the hood need to explain this process in plain English. Now that same hustle putting me on some OG's radar. Next morning's subway ride smelled like damp hoodies and bakery rolls. I scroll my notes app, Melly's follow-up court date locked for the 14th, 2 new calls from moms trying to bail teenage sons on truancy warrants. Work never slow. I text my little sis Kayla to check in. She's still at BMCC pulling night classes, always worried about me. By noon, I'm back at Bronx Criminal Court, binder under my arm like a purse Bible. Security guard nods, "Morning, Miss Bonds," with that half smile. He know me now. I slide to the clerk line, and that's when I spot the Charger double parked out front again, engine humming like a bad thought. Stacks stroll in 5 minutes later, tall, 40-something, waves brushed tight under a Yankee fitted, leather bomber creaking when he moves. He passed by slow, tossing the casual, "Morning, ma," like we friends. I nod polite, keep eyes on my paperwork. As I step toward the hallway printer, I hear sneakers drag behind me. Tone again, showing up like my uninvited shadow. "Yo, I told you he watching," he mutters, low voice. "Then quit following me like a detective," I shoot back, smirking despite my nerves. Tone smirks too. "Just keeping my investments safe." He leaned closer. "Real talk though, Stacks lost 2 clients to you this month. That's lunch money in his math." I shake my head, signing the last form. I ain't mad. Folks want legal help, not street IOUs. If he mad, tell him to open the office like grown folk. Tone whistles. You bold, Shawnee. I moved to the vending machines for a quick ginger ale. My nerves need bubbles. From the corner of my eye, I catch Stacks leaning near the exit, talking to one of the transport cops, laughing like they old cousins. My gut remind me, connections in these walls run deep. Gotta watch every smile. Evening hits with sleet rain turn the sidewalk slick. I take the long way home, stop at the corner bodega for chopped cheese hero and a scratch-off. Behind the counter, old Mr. Rafiq asks, "You look tired, child, working too hard?" I just laugh. Story of my life, Mr. R. Back in my apartment, I kick off Tim's, scroll through messages. One from Kayla. "Sis, you good? Heard some guy came by asking for you outside school." Heart skip. Ain't no way that's a coincidence. I shoot back quick. Stay inside campus lit areas. Don't talk to nobody you don't know. I'm good. Then toss phone on bed, sink in a chair, rub my temples. Hustling bonds for the black. Supposed to help families sleep at night. Wow, I feel like I'm the one losing rest. Outside window, a police siren wails faint through the drizzle. Headlights streak the wet avenue. I whisper to myself, "You built for this, Shawnee. Just paperwork. Don't let the streets scare you back." But deep down, I know the hustle just got personal.
Next day, I hit Bronx Criminal Court early. Sky the color of a subway seat. Worn blue, trying to be hopeful. I got 3 folders rubber banded together like a sandwich. Melly's follow-up, a new case named Carlos, trespass with an attitude, and Kenya's check-in, because she promised me she'd come sign an update. Coffee in one hand, binder in the other. Paperwork is my armor. Highlighter's my ammo. If you know, you know. Lobby's already doing laps. Public defenders jogging case files, custodians swishing bleach like defense, ADAs with their confident walk that say, "I got time today." I touch the metal detector tray with the same knuckle twice, the little rituals that keep a girl sane. Then I see it. That champagne gray Charger slid into a hydrant spot like it pays rent. Engine idling lazy. Window down 2 inches. Cigarette tip glowing like an eye that never blinks. I tell myself, don't gift him your attention for free. Eyes front. Receipts up. Walk. But the back of my neck do that tiny shiver it do when a storm is naming itself. On the 3rd floor, I hit Marco's window to drop Melly's reminder. He's mid-shuffle with a Staten Island kid's mother who keeps asking why the system ain't polite. Marco sees me and lifts his chin. 2 minutes, Shawnee. I nod, check my texts. Kenya. On the way, train slow. Melly. I'm here. PD said room 2. Tone. 3 missed calls and a call me ASAP like I'm his manager. When I peel off toward a Raymond's 2, a plainclothes CO with a weathered Yankees cap steps into my lane like we got choreography. He flashes a badge just low enough I gotta look down to see it. "Miss Roshawn, right? Quick word, nothing serious." His tone say serious like it's on layaway. I angle my shoulders so I'm near the wall but not cornered. "What's up, officer?" Gale. He smiles with his lips, not his eyes. "Got a heads up. Certain entities think you moving too fast in the bond lane. Maybe slow down, let other folks eat. You understand me?" I glance at his badge, then at the exit sign. I understand my work is legal. If entities want to eat, they can open a window and sell snacks. I slide a half step to the right. "We done?" He chuckles low, soft shooing menace. "Be safe, miss." Then he slips back into the stream like a fish who knows these waters better than me. My heartbeat does a quick merengue, fast but on beat. I text myself a note. CO Gale. Warned me. Possible Stacks link. Documentation ain't just for the court, it's for survival. Inside of Raymond's 2, Melly's case gets called. He's in his church shirt trying to look like somebody's favorite nephew, which he is. Judge peeks over glasses, confirms he showed up. PD speaks quick about his work schedule. ADA tries a small flex. Judge shrugs and sets the next date. We good. I give Melly a tiny salute. 2 fingers, chin nod. He grins like he passed the test. Back in the hallway, I nearly collide with Tone, who's walking too fast to be up to anything legal. "Yo," I snap. "Stop acting like a chase scene. We in a courthouse, not a music video." He leans in, breath minty over trouble. "Stacks leaned on me last night at a bar on 145th. Said tell you to move cute or get moved. He really think the bond corridor his living room." I let out air slow. Tone, let me ask you something. Why he comfortable talking through you? I tilt my head, eyebrows asking primetime questions. He puts his hands up. It's 'cause I owe him a favor. Old debt. Nothing big, but big enough he think I'll carry messages. He lowers his voice. Don't be alone, Shawnee. I ain't perfect, but I care. I want to say you care when it's convenient, but the thing about the Bronx is, sometimes the messenger risks more than the message. I nod once. All right, appreciate it. My phone buzzes. Kenya, here. I meet her by the second floor vending machine that eats dollars and burps nickels. She looks steadier today, hair done, eyes not glassy. We review her reminder notice, get her to initial the update that says, I will be here or else. She laughs at my teacher voice, then hugs me and goes. Minutes later, my day decides to do push-ups. Carlos's mother, Miss Ruiz, short lady with big prayer energy, calls frantic. They say bail is $3,000. I only have $300. Please, mija, help. I tell her to meet me outside bond window B. We can structure a plan. She thanks me in the kind of voice that make you fold your pride and get to work. On my way down, a cluster of dudes blocks the top of the stairwell. 3 of them, hoodies that match the Chargers paint like a team uniform. They part slow when I get close. The one in the middle, tall with a chipped tooth smile, steps near enough I can count the thread work on his bomber. Morning, Miss Receipts, he says, voice caramel over ice. Boss man says you make a noise. I balance my folders on my hip. Funny, I thought I was helping families comply with the law. If that's noise, turn up the volume. I try to slide past. He mirror moves. We can do this sweet, he murmurs, or we can do it bitter. Sweet is you send folks our way when numbers get high. Bitter is we start telling judges you're unreliable, so they push your client's bail higher. Papers whisper in this building, you feel me? I hold his gaze. I file clean. Judges like clean. I tip my chin toward the CO post down the hall. Move. He smiles wider and surprisingly steps aside with a flourish like he a gentleman at prom. Be safe, he sing-songs. Down by bond window B, I find Miss Ruiz wringing her hands near a pamphlet rack about your rights. We sit on the bench. I ask about income, address, job status. She cleans offices at night. 2 kids in school, no car. Collateral is thin, but not zero. She got a small credit union account. I explain the term slow. She nods like each word is a stepping stone across water. As we gather her documents, a commotion ripples from the corridor. My skin registers it before my ears decode it. Somebody raising a voice that don't belong to me. Then I hear Marco's tone, calm, professional, but pitched high with warning. I slip Miss Ruiz a 1-second smile and move toward the noise. Stacks is at Marco's window with C.O. Gale hovering near like a shadow with a badge. Stacks taps the glass with his knuckle, smile pasted on. Come on, Marco, stop playing. We both know you prioritize my files. Marco's jaw tightens. I prioritize what's complete. Right now, Miss Roshawn's package is complete. I step into sight, set my folder flat on the counter like a gavel without the echo. Morning, gentlemen. We good over here? I look at Gale. He looks at everything but me. Stacks spreads his hands like a game show host. All love, Ma. We just talking priority. Time is money. He leans closer, voice low. You keep cutting the line, you gonna find out how much of both you got. I say evenly, Sir, nobody cut a line you're not standing in. If you got a complete file, the window's right there. I nod at the next window, where a clerk stares with eyes like, I did not sign up for this episode. Marco clears his throat. I can accept one at a time. Miss Roshan's up. He stamps the top page. That thunk sound hits like a snare drum in a quiet room. Stack's smile shrinks to a paper cut. He taps the glass one more time. 2 little polite knocks that promise another conversation, and slides away, Gale trailing. Every hair on my arm salutes. I breathe through it, finish Miss Ruiz's packet, and walk her to the cashier. She squeezes my fingers with her whole heart in her grip. Gracias, mija.
Dios te bendiga. Bless me? I'll take it. After lunch, I circle back to arraignments with the ginger ale I didn't earn. Tone text, outside. I debate ignoring him, then figure sunlight and witnesses can't hurt. We meet near the front steps where pigeons hold union meetings and lawyers chain smoke optimism. Tone gets straight to it. He says, I got 2 pieces of advice. He says eyes on traffic instead of me. 1, start leaving 5 minutes early or late from your usual pattern. Keep them guessing. 2, carry a spare phone. Not burner, just a plan B. I sip my soda. You offering to be my security now? He shrugs. I'm offering you a favor. That maybe balances one I owe somebody else. Also, Stack's got a nephew in that CO pool. Gail ain't the only one who owes favors. There it is, the web. You imagine the system is halls and windows and stamps. It's really handshakes and whispers and who ate lunch with who in '09. I lace my fingers around the can so I don't lace them around the throat. Appreciate the intel, I say, jaw tight. Evening creeps up quick in April. I stop at my office, the bodega on 161st, grab a turkey hero and extra napkins because my soul messy today. While Mr. Singh slices meat, a kid runs in breathless. Yo, they tow truck and cars on the block. Half the store empties like a fire drill. I pay, step out, and freeze. My little Honda, clean title, holy grail of my hustle, is hooked to a tow like a fish on a bad day. The tow guy shrugs. Ticket from last week, expired meter. It's on the record. He's not wrong. I've been living at the courthouse. Time got stretchy. But the timing smells like cologne I ain't wear. Across the street, the Charger idles. Of course it does. I don't make a scene. Scenes cost. I take photos, snap the plate, note the time. I call the precinct.
Monday morning smelled like burnt coffee and ambition inside my tiny Bronx office. Sunlight barely cut through the dusty blinds, but I was already knee-deep in paperwork, trying to line up witness statements from the church meeting. My phone buzzed with a shaky voice note from Reggie, the barber who volunteered his number yesterday. I hit play. His Bronx drawl came through the static. Yo, Ro, I'ma be straight up. Some tall dude slid up on me outside the shop late night. Said I was helping the wrong side. Left a card in my tip jar with a big S on it. You already know who. I clenched my jaw till my molars ached. I called Tone first. He'd been my quiet backup ever since the Leonora meetups. He answered on the second ring, sounding half asleep. Yo, Ro, what's good? You know it's barely 9 a.m., right? Tone mumbled. Stack's moving again. Now he pressing the witnesses. Met Reggie by the barbershop last night. We can't let that slide, Tone. Aight, I'll swing by the shop after lunch, peep the vibe. But we gotta keep it clean. Last thing we need is NYPD thinking we the ones harassing folk. I thanked them and opened my binder to start a new page titled Witness Pressure Incidents. The ink bled a little, maybe from my heavy hand, maybe from the rain sneaking through the AC gap. By noon, the clouds cracked open and Harlem streets glistened like wet asphalt mirrors. I headed to Reggie's Barbers and Fades, a narrow shop squeezed between a tax prep joint and a fried fish spot. Clippers buzzed like hornets inside. The smell of talc and hair oil hit me before the bell over the door jingled. Reggie was lining up a teenager's fade, but his eyes flicked at me through the mirror. He wrapped the cut quick and waved me toward the back hallway near the mock sink. Yo, Ro, my bad blowing up your phone. Dude had that same camel color coat you mentioned, heavy chain, no haircut game. Told me I better mind my business or the shop might get surprise inspections. I got a license and all, but you know how fines pile up. I nodded, lowered my tone too. You did right calling me. We gon' log everything. Don't engage him alone. If he pops up again while Tone here, just act normal and let Tone clock his plates. As if on cue, Tone pushed open the shop door, his hoodie up, posture loose, but his eyes scanning corners. He gave Reggie a chin-up nod and pretended to scroll his phone. I stepped back into the main room, smiled for the customers so nobody sensed the storm under the Clippers buzz. A couple hours later, I was at the 28th precinct trying to file an incident report. The desk sergeant barely looked up until Detective Mora,
A Latina officer who'd seen me in court before recognized me and waved me through. She listened while I laid out the pattern. Intimidation cards, late-night visits, now witness threats. Moira scribbled in her notepad. Look, Roshawn, unofficially, we know these cats circle the courthouse like sharks, but unless your barber friend wants to sign a sworn statement, our hands tied. I can keep a car cruising by the shop evenings. Best I can promise for now. I thanked her and left with the precinct copy folded inside my binder. Page 2 of witness pressure incidents now had a police stamp. That night, Aunt Tanya called, voice tight. Baby girl, I seen that same Escalade roll by the church again. Windows down this time. Whoever that man is, he bold. I assured her we had eyes on it, even if my stomach said otherwise. I spent the next hour scanning my binder, highlighting names of the most vulnerable witnesses and making a rotation plan to check on them personally. Just before midnight, Tone texted me a blurry photo of the Escalade plate he finally caught near Reggie's shop. Under it, he typed, "Got it, time to play chess." I stared at the screen till my eyelids grew heavy, but my mind stayed wired. Knowing chess with street hustlers meant somebody always trying to flip the board.
Saturday morning crept in with a silver Harlem drizzle tapping the air conditioner grate outside my window. I barely slept, half from paperwork hangover, half from that charger stare burned in my eyelids. My phone buzzed before I poured coffee. Marco texting a screenshot of a Facebook post. Stacks at somebody's cookout 2 blocks from my aunt's place, smiling like he sold insurance, not intimidation. The caption read, "Support your local bondsman. Quick release, no questions." I cursed under my breath. The man was planting himself in my backyard now. By noon, I was on the 2 train heading to my Aunt Tanya's brownstone in the Bronx. Tanya's my mom's older sister, used to run the church kitchen committee like a general. She's the type that can smell trouble before it knocks. I needed her to hear this from me before Stax's charm tour reached her stoop. The apartment smelled of collard greens and pine sol. Tanya was in her robe, hair wrapped, already giving me side-eye the second I stepped in. My cousin Lil Maya played Roblox on the couch, headphones crooked so she could eavesdrop. Typical. "Morning, Auntie. We got to talk business. Bail bond business," I said, dropping my tote by the radiator. Tanya crossed her arms. "Business or drama? 'Cause I seen that man with the camel coat on Facebook smiling with my church deacon yesterday. Said y'all worked together. I told Deacon Paul, my niece don't smile like that with snakes." "Exactly why I'm here. He don't work with me. He work around me. And now he trying to cozy up to the congregation so they'll steer families his way. I need the church to hear the truth before the lies sound like gospel." Tanya lowered herself onto the couch, the recliner squeaking in protest. "You finally talking strategy instead of swinging. What's the plan?" I explained about the temporary 30-foot sign, the Belmont win for Carlos Ruiz, and how the Cordo Cowboys hated that paper more than sunlight. Tanya listened, rubbing the edge of her robe belt like she was polishing an idea. "Sunday, after service, we holding the monthly community safety forum. You come speak. Bring that Leonora lawyer if you can. Folks respect paperwork, but they trust voices they recognize." That was the play. Get the grandmas, the barbers, the ushers, even the skeptical black captains in one room and let them hear how the hustle really worked. If I could plant the receipts in the neighborhood's own soil, Stax's roots would dry out. Sunday came humid and buzzing with cicadas in the tree pits. I wore a navy blazer over jeans, professional up top, Bronx at the bottom. Leonora met me on the church steps, clutching the slim folder like it was a shield. The ushers recognized me and nodded. The deacon eyed Leonora's lawyer badge, but held the door. Inside Fellowship Hall, the folding chairs formed half moons around a wooden lectern older than me. Hand-painted banner on the wall. Faith plus action equals safe streets. Aunt Tanya was at the refreshment table, bossing volunteers about the lemonade ratio. When Pastor Earl finished the opening prayer, he waved me forward. My palms were damp, but my voice came out steady. I told him how unlicensed agents stalked the courthouse corridors, how families were pressured into shady contracts, and how our small win proved that paperwork and persistence could beat the hustle if the neighborhood stayed alert. Leonora explained the new sign-in proposal and hotline for complaints. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, half disbelief, half recognition. Then Sister Johnson, whose nephew had caught a bogus bell jump last spring, raised her hand. That white man with the crocodile shoes kept giving me his card by the elevators? I thought he worked for the court. I nodded. That's exactly why we fightin'. By the time we wrapped, 3 barbers, 2 bodega owners, and the head of the tennis association had written their numbers on my notepad, offering to witness and report harassment. Tanya winked at me like, that's how you flip a script. Out on the church steps after service, a black Escalade rolled slow past the curb. Windows tinted, bass humming a lazy threat. Tone, who had come to back me up, muttered, he's scouting your aunt's block now. Man ain't got boundaries. I straightened my blazer and said loud enough for Tone to hear, boundaries come with neighborhood watch. Then I smiled for the cluster of kids jumping double dutch on the sidewalk so they wouldn't read the tension on my face. That night I logged every name that volunteered to help, called it the community witness roster. Added it to my binder right behind the courthouse notes. My binder was starting to look like a playbook, and for the first time, I felt like maybe the game was starting to tilt our way. Saturday morning crept in with a silver Harlem drizzle tapping the air conditioner grate outside my window. I barely slept, half from paperwork hangover, half from that Chargers stare burned in my eyelids. My phone buzzed before I poured coffee. Marco texting a screenshot of a Facebook post. Stacks at somebody's cookout 2 blocks from my aunt's place, smiling like he sold insurance, not intimidation. The caption read, support your local bondsman, quick release, no questions. I cursed under my breath. The man was planting himself in my backyard now. By noon, I was on the 2 train heading to my Aunt Tanya's brownstone in the Bronx. Tanya's my mom's older sister, used to run the church kitchen committee like a general. She's the type that can smell trouble before it knocks. I needed her to hear this from me before Stax's charm tour reached her stoop. The apartment smelled of collard greens and pine sol. Tanya was in her robe, hair wrapped, already giving me side-eye the second I stepped in. My cousin Lil Maya played Roblox on the couch, headphones crooked so she could eavesdrop. Typical. Morning, Auntie. We got to talk business. Bail bond business, I said, dropping my tote by the radiator. Tanya crossed our arms. Business or drama? 'Cause I seen that man with the camel coat on Facebook smiling with my church deacon yesterday. Said y'all worked together. I told Deacon Paul, my niece don't smile like that with snakes. Exactly why I'm here. He don't work with me. He work around me. And now he trying to cozy up to the congregation so they'll steer families his way. I need the church to hear the truth before the lies sound like gospel. Tanya lowered herself onto the couch, the recliner squeaking in protest. You finally talking strategy instead of swinging. What's the plan? I explained about the temporary 30-foot sign, the Belmont win for Carlos Ruiz, and how the Cordo Cowboys hated that paper more than sunlight. Tanya listened, rubbing the edge of her robe belt like she was polishing an idea. Sunday, after service, we holding the monthly community safety forum. You come speak. Bring that Leonora lawyer if you can. Folks respect paperwork, but they trust voices they recognize. That was the play. Get the grandmas, the barbers, the ushers, even the skeptical black captains in one room and let them hear how the hustle really worked. If I could plant the receipts in the neighborhood's own soil, Stax's roots would dry out. Sunday came humid and buzzing with cicadas in the tree pits. I wore a navy blazer over jeans, professional up top, Bronx at the bottom. Leonora met me on the church steps, clutching the slim folder like it was a shield. The ushers recognized me and nodded. The deacon eyed Leonora's lawyer badge, but held the door. Inside Fellowship Hall, the folding chairs formed half moons around a wooden lectern older than me. Hand-painted banner on the wall. Faith plus action equals safe streets. Aunt Tanya was at the refreshment table, bossing volunteers about the lemonade ratio. When Pastor Earl finished the opening prayer, he waved me forward. My palms were damp, but my voice came out steady. I told him how unlicensed agents stalked the courthouse corridors, how families were pressured into shady contracts, and how our small win proved that paperwork and persistence could beat the hustle if the neighborhood stayed alert. Leonora explained the new sign-in proposal and hotline for complaints. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, half disbelief, half recognition. Then Sister Johnson, whose nephew had caught a bogus bell jump last spring, raised her hand. That white man with the crocodile shoes kept giving me his card by the elevators. I thought he worked for the court. I nodded. That's exactly why we fighting. By the time we wrapped, 3 barbers, 2 bodega owners, and the head of the tennis association had written their numbers on my notepad, offering to witness and report harassment. Tanya winked at me like, that's how you flip a script. Out on the church steps after service, a black Escalade rolled slow past the curb. Windows tinted, bass humming a lazy threat. Tone, who had come to back me up, muttered, he's scouting your aunt's block now. Man ain't got boundaries. I straightened my blazer and said loud enough for Tone to hear, boundaries come with neighborhood watch. Then I smiled for the cluster of kids jumping double dutch on the sidewalk so they wouldn't read the tension on my face. That night I logged every name that volunteered to help, called it the community witness roster. Added it to my binder right behind the courthouse notes. My binder was starting to look like a playbook, and for the first time, I felt like maybe the game was starting to tilt our way. I didn't sleep. I charged. Backup phone at 100, binder fat with tabs, plate number from the Escalade glowing in my notes like a streetlight that finally worked. By 7:20 a.m., I was at Bronx Criminal Court with a sesame bagel, 2 pens, and a plan. Step 1, turn that plate into a person. Step 2, put that person on paper. Step 3, make stacks blink first. Detective Mora met me by the lobby mural, the one that looks like hope if you squint. She wore a windswept ponytail and an expression that said she'd been arguing with bureaucracy since sunrise.
You came loaded, I see,
Mora said, eyeing my binder.
I ran the plate, registered to a Shell LOC out of Jersey. Surprise, surprise. But we triangulated parking tickets connected to the Escalade. Same driver popping up outside this courthouse and a couple of bars on 145th. We got a partial ID, Raymond Ellerby. Street name, Stacks.
We already knew that name, I said, but hearing it on a printout put spine under it. What about the CO angle?
We're still collecting, Mora said carefully. Internal Affairs has your complaint, but IA drinks slow coffee. Your best bet today is an ADA who actually cares. She tilted her chin toward the stairwell. You know ADA Chen?
I'd seen Chen in Part B, late 30s, always neat, never smug. Will he talk off calendar?
He'll listen. I'll broker 5 minutes. Bring your receipts, bring the plate, bring the harassment timestamps. If he smells something real, he'll nudge court administration faster than my memos can.
We took the side stairs, less traffic, more echoes. ADA Chen was in the corridor outside Part A, tucking a folder under his arm mid-stride. Mora flagged him gently.
Is this about the bond hallway situation?
I said, it's about pressure masquerading as help and a man who parks outcomes at the curb. I walked him through the timeline quick. Thank agents in camel coats, CO Gale's Be Safe, the tow coincidence, the van door talk, the church drive-bys, Reggie's intimidation card, and now the plate. His eyes didn't wander once. When I slit the photo of the temporary no soliciting sign we fought for, his mouth pinched. It meant he'd seen it, maybe argued about it.
What do you want from me today?
I said, 2 things. 1, formalize the 30-foot rule into a building directive, not a piece of tape. 2, on any bail motion where flight risk is whispered with no proof, flag the court that unlicensed solicitors are massaging families in the hall. The record needs to show the interference.
I can raise the directive in our morning admin huddle. As for the hallway interference, I can note it where I see it, and I won't oppose the defense motion to modify if your investigator, Green, right, files a memo. But if you're asking me to target a specific individual without a clean case, I can't. I don't do ghost wars.
I said, I'm asking you to respect sunlight. Ghosts hate it. He almost smiled, then checked his watch.
You have 4 minutes left.
I used all 4 sliding copies, timestamps, text threads, photos of the Chargers plate, and Reggie's precinct slip. He took them like they were heat. As Chen ducked back into the stream, Tone popped from nowhere. Fresh hoodie, barber clean fade, nervous energy clicking under his skin. Yo, your lawyer friend got a cousin who heard from a clerk that Stacks is mad. Word is he coming through the lobby today in costume, clean suit, no chain, shaking hands like a councilman. Watch the optics. Let him, I said, tightening my ponytail.
We'll meet him with choir robes, witnesses, and rules. Before noon, the lobby turned into a parade. Reporters drifted in for a high-profile assault case. Public defenders sprinted like late buses. A church lady I knew dropped off sandwiches for families. That's when Stacks made his move. Crisp charcoal suit, winter white smile, slick as a stoop after rain. 2 of his runners trailed him like commas.
Miss Receipts.
He purred when he spotted me by the mural. Heard you've been filing bedtime stories about me. I came to put a face on the fairy tale. I stayed exactly where I was, 31 feet from the bond windows. I'd measured with my eyes so often it felt like a muscle. Afternoon, Mr. Ellerby. You chose charcoal because the sign said no soliciting or because you're grieving the end of your hallway residency? A couple of families nearby looked up. Reporters' ears twitch when tone shifts. Stacks flicked an imaginary flet from his lapel.
I'm here to offer community support,
He said, voice church serious. Sometimes people need reminders. You can't be everywhere, Miss Receipts. Good news, I said. I don't have to be. The building has rules now, the community has eyes, and the ADA's paying attention. I didn't glance toward Chen, but I knew he was within earshot. Also, my clients sign reminders on paper. We don't do reminders by car window. Marco hustled up with a stack of forms, stopped short when he clocked the scene. He didn't speak, just stood near me like a period at the end of my sentence. That's when C.O. Gale drifted within range, hands on his belt, expression neutral like a blank form. He said nothing, just being present, like furniture with opinions. Stacks clocked him and smiled wider, confident again.
Tell you what,
He said, lowering his voice. Let's keep the peace. You do the small numbers, the cutie pies. We take the big numbers, the stress. Everybody eats? I leaned fractionally forward, so only the mic in my backup phone could love the words, I already eat. It just ain't off people's fear. A reporter with a bob cut and quick eyes drifted closer like a cat catching a sun patch. She didn't lift her camera, but our posture recorded every syllable. The air shifted, like the lobby itself inhaled. Stacks noticed her too. Instead of backing off, he stepped closer to me, 1 inch too close, 1 second too long. It was a tiny move, stupid on a good day and reckless on a day with press in the lobby. He didn't touch me. He didn't have to. The optics touched themselves. 30 feet, sir, I said, pointing gently toward the tape sign near the windows. Building directive, you're over the line.
He laughed without humor. You can't measure spirit, sweetheart.
I said, luckily, tape measures work on floors. Officer? I didn't look at Gale, just named the role out loud. Sound travels different when it's public. Gale's jaw worked like gum that lost flavor. He shifted, cleared his throat, then did his job, loud enough to register. Sir, step back from the bond corridor line, keep it moving. Stacks took half a step, the smallest obedience money can buy, but the moment was already printed in people's eyes. The bob-cut reporter finally lifted her phone, took one photo of the sign, one of the floor tape, and one of me and Stacks standing at the exact boundary. No captions, just proof. He recovered quick, pasted the smile back on. We all about rules, he said for the crowd. No hard feelings, Miss Receipts. I have none, I said, equally public. I have forms. A couple of people laughed. Laughter is brave in a courthouse. Marco couldn't help his smirk. Tone, posted by a pillar like a shadow with opinions, tapped his phone twice, our code for we're trending locally, whether we like it or not. Stacks drifted away with his commas. Gale followed the other direction, like gravity got confused. The lobby noise roared back to normal, the way the ocean returns after it realizes you're a person, not a rock. Chen materialized at my shoulder a minute later. He didn't smile. Prosecutors rarely award themselves that. Admin will issue a written directive by weekend. 30-foot zone, signage, and a CO assignment to that area with a rotation so no one builds relationships. He glanced after Gale without moving his head. Also, Chen added, if you and legal aid file a short memo describing today's interference incident, I'll attach it to our admin email. Sunlight, as you put it. Copy, I said. We'll file by 4 p.m. He nodded once and slipped back into the docket stream. For the next 2 hours, we did what we always do. Moved paper.
Ms. Ruish checked in with a bag of pastelillos and a thank you smile that could light a stairwell. Kenya breezed through early, perfect edges, signed without me asking, armor on time. A new grandmother cried into my sleeve because her grandson would sleep at home tonight. I squeezed her hand and thought, this is the currency that matters. Around 3, Tone pinged my inbox, a tight screenshot. A neighborhood blog already posted the lobby photo, a cropped frame of the tape, the sign, and 2 figures at the line, me and the man in charcoal. Caption, courthouse cracks down on corridor hustlers, families say about time. Comments were doing New York things, side jokes, real anger, a barber claiming I seen them dudes, facts. 10 minutes later, my spare phone rang, unknown, no caller ID block. I let it ring twice so my pulse could get dressed, then answered. Silence first, then a breath that had smoked too many bad decisions.
You made a mess,
He said, voice at room temperature. Paper loves you today. Paper gets bored tomorrow. I said tomorrow has a calendar. I already booked it. I ended the call before his echo could rent space in my head. At 3:42, Leonora pinged my inbox, a titanema memorializing the lobby incident with my affidavit attached and Marco's short statement that he witnessed verbal solicitation in restricted space. I PDF'd it, CC'd ADA Chen, court admin, Detective Mora, and because I believe in poetic CCs, the community email we started after the church forum. Sunlight by distribution list. By closing time, the temporary paper sign had 2 pieces of transparent tape and a new sole. COs actually nudged people back. The air felt possible. Outside, dusk dipped the courthouse in copper again. The charger wasn't at the curb. The Escalade wasn't either. I didn't trust the quiet, but I let it ride shotgun instead of fear. Tone fell into step beside me, hands in hoodie pocket, looking like 2 thoughts away from trouble and 1 step from wisdom.
The morning after the lobby showdown felt calm in the Bronx, the way quiet sometimes hums before the train hits the tracks. I woke before my alarm, tied my hair in a knot, packed the binder like armor, and slipped on a navy blazer I saved for real court days. The ginger ale bottle cap from yesterday clinked on my dresser, a tiny trophy staring at me like, you ain't done yet. Today wasn't about more paper. Today was arraignment for a high-profile gun possession case, the kind that lures every hallway hustler to smell bail money. I knew Stacks wouldn't resist showing up again, but I also knew we finally had the 30-foot rule in writing, and I had Tone walking beside me, Marco on speed dial, and Detective Mora promising an extra CO near the tape line. Outside, February air cut sharp across 161st as I hit the courthouse steps. Tone was already there, hood down, sipping deli coffee like it owed him rent. You ready for round 10, bro? He asked, eyes scanning the curb. Been ready since the lobby. We just gotta keep it clean today, no slip-ups. Inside the lobby, the tape line sign looked new, laminated, bolted waist high. 2 COs actually enforced it. You could feel the shift in the air, family standing calmer on their side. Marco waved from the far bench, phone raised like a reporter capturing history. 10 minutes later, Stacks appeared. No suit this time, camel coat back on, gold chain tucked but obvious, 2 side runners trailing. He scanned the lobby like a landlord returning to find tenants redecorated his hallway. Look at that, Ro, Tone muttered. Somebody missed the spotlight. Stacks paced just outside the tape line, jaw set tight. I stayed on my bench flipping through files like he wasn't even scenery. That's when the hallway filled with news cameras. Turns out the high-profile arraignment involved a city councilman's nephew. Perfect storm. ADA Chen entered moments later, briefcase in hand, eyes flicking between cameras and the new tape line. He gave me a subtle nod, the kind that means keep steady. We might need witnesses again. Stacks tried the charm approach first, greeting families near the metal detector with nods and that Sunday morning tone, but the cameras caught every step he took and every inch he leaned too close to the restricted area. CO Gale finally raised a hand. Sir, you know the rules. Step back behind the marker, Gale called loud enough for the reporters' mics. Stacks obeyed, but his smirk twitched like a neon light losing power. The arraignment itself dragged past noon. During recess, I went to check on Miss Ruiz, who sat praying softly for her grandson. "Señorita Roshawn, gracias for fighting for us," she whispered. I squeezed her hand and thought of Mama, how she always said paper means nothing if people still feel alone. Back in the lobby, I saw Stax arguing in hushed tones with one of his runners. Tone caught my glance and drifted closer like backup static. Something about Stax's body language screamed cornered, shoulders high, smile thin, words quick. "He heated," Tone murmured. "Probably heard the councilman's people went straight to the license bond list." A minute later, Stax made the mistake of pointing at me mid-sentence. Harmless to most eyes, but deadly with cameras around. Flashes went off. Reporters love a finger point. It frames a headline. I didn't flinch. I just turned slightly so the laminated sign was visible behind me in their shots. By late afternoon, the case adjourned and the crowd thinned. Stax lingered near the exit, pacing like he'd lost a bet. I decided not to wait for tomorrow's threat call. I walked straight up to him, but stopped exactly at the tape line. "You know what's funny about tape, Stax?" I said just loud enough. "A year ago, you owned this hallway. Today, a piece of plastic holds you back. That's growth for the building." He chuckled without humor. "Enjoy your 15 minutes, Miss Receipts. Streets change seasons quick." So do calendars, but records don't. Then I walked off before his comeback could rent space in my ears. Outside, dusk spread purple over the courthouse. Pastor Earl happened to be walking by with his outreach group and stopped when he spotted me. "Child, the Lord sees persistence," he said warmly. I nodded, unexpectedly moved. That evening, our community forum went live online. The lobby photo, Chin's directive, testimonies from families. Comments flooded in. Barbershop dads saying, "Finally," church mothers typing praying hands emojis, and even a couple of POs admitting the rule made their job easier. For once, the internet chorus leaned hopeful. Around 10 p.m., I sat at my kitchen table staring at the ginger ale cap again. I opened my binder to a fresh page and wrote in big block letters, "Day 100, the lobby belongs to the people." Then underneath, smaller, "Tomorrow, we start helping the next courthouse." I closed my eyes and whispered a prayer of thanks for Tone keeping his cool, for witnesses finding courage, for sunlight finding cracks in concrete buildings. Father, thank you for reminding us that persistence and faith can move barriers we thought were built in stone. Help every person fighting unseen battles in these halls, from families to officers, to hold on to hope and to do right when wrong feels louder. If you're listening tonight and carrying your own case, remember this: you are more than the paper that labels you. Keep standing, keep pressing. Morning always comes after the night shift. This is Roshawn's story, the bail bond hustle, from savage to saved. If you believe God still makes a way, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening to my story.